Okay, so we'll do one more little foldable together, and I feel that after all these notes, you should be able to work on a handout that's coming right after this on your own, okay? Remember to look at the very end of this lesson to make sure that you know how to glue all these things to your spiral. So let's start again. We said slopes describes the blank of a line, the steepness of a line. We also learned that slope has a lot of different names. First of all, it is the m in an equation, and y equals mx plus b. We know slope can be referred to as rate of change. And the most commonly one that you guys know is rise over run. So let's start with how do you find slope from a graph again? Well, from a graph, you're going to choose 2 points on the graph. You are going to count the rise from one point to the next. Remember, the rise is your hops on the y-axis, okay? Then you are going to count the run, and the run is the hops on the x-axis. And you're going to write your slope as a fraction. Why would we want it as a fraction? Well, because if they want us to keep plotting more points, we need our rise and run, so we need it as a fraction. So here we go, perfect points. This would not be a good point, so I got to pick something like this. So this one and this one are good. So let's count the rise. 1, 2, over 1. And there it is, 2 over 1, or simply 2. And what kind of slope is this? Positive, because from left to right, it's increasing. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a little note. This is positive. All right, second graph. Let's pick our 2 points. So I'm gonna pick the origin, 0, 0, and all the way over here to 3, negative 1. So I'm going to count the rise, 1, over 1, 2, 3. 1/3, and now I just got to check what kind of slope is it. From left to right, what's it doing? It is decreasing, so this is a negative slope. Okay, now let's find slope from an equation. And so far, all we're going to be focusing on is the slope-intercept equation, so that should be easy. So the equation must be in slope-intercept form. Remember, that's the one that sounds like this, y equals mx plus b. Slope is the m, which is next to the x. Next to x, or the number in front of x. So here we go. And actually, I'm just going to highlight them. Y equals 4/3 x minus 12. Slope, number next to the x, 4/3. Y equals negative 3x minus 2. Slope, the negative 3. Y equals 15x plus 7. 15 is your slope. And y equals negative 0.1x. So there it is. Now, if you wanted to practice the y-intercept, okay, well, the y-intercept is the other number, the one that doesn't have an x. So in this case, I'm just going to make a little note. These are the y-intercepts. So negative 12, negative 2, positive 7, and 0. From a table, we are going to find the constant rate of change of the x values and the y values. We're going to write the change as a fraction. And obviously, we're going to use our formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can pick whichever 2 points you want, but personally, I would stick to positive numbers if you don't like any negatives, okay? And I would stick to smaller numbers, okay? But, you know, you can pick whichever ones you want. I'm gonna focus on these two. Now, this is x, y. So this is gonna be my x1, y1 of the first point. This is gonna be my x2, y2 of the second point. And then I'm just gonna fill in my info. So y2 is 4. Oh, and don't forget, minus, okay? Then y1, oops, y1 is a 2, sorry. Then x2, and x1 is 0. 4 minus 2, 2. 1 minus 0, 1. 2 over 1, which is simply